Welcome to Drum and Drummer, a podcast focused on drums, drumming and drummers. I'm George Pickering and that's Ben Winty, and we are both professional drummers in this business we call music. So stick around and join us as we pass the time whilst trying to stay in time.
I know, that was a fear. That was a genuine fear I had.
They never normally actually do it.
That I'd come out and all the nurses would be there. Good morning. Welcome to Drum and Drummer. George, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yes, hopefully I'm fine.
Yeah.
Because we are recording this episode in advance of my spinal surgery. And if all's gone well, I should be back at home recovering well. But yes, we're recording this episode before the surgery, just so I can rest up for a good bit of time, and then we can get back on the pod.
Yeah.
Right, surgery then. So, I got a great little story, mate. Great little story. So my surgery's coming up, right? It's in 5 days, and do you know what? I'm starting to actually feel maybe not nervous, but apprehensive. I think maybe the gravitas of what's happening is sort of kicking in, and I've got a fairly busy week leading up to the surgery, right? I've got trying to get half this album finished recording, so that's done before I go in. And then kind of like Christmas, we're working up to like get to Christmas, and then you don't really think beyond it. And I'm kind of in that mindset, right? Just do all the things I need to do before the surgery, and then have the surgery, and then who knows what's going to happen in terms of recovery. Hopefully it all goes well, but I just don't really know how that's sort of all going to pan out. So Friday last week, I had to go into the hospital to have some pre-op tests,
right,
and a final consultation with my surgeon, and sign the consent form. So basically I consent to this surgery being done, right? So I went in and I had these 2 appointments back to back. And so here for my pre-op test. Okay, they took me through, and I just sat and wait for a bit. And then I was told on the phone, because I had to have a phone assessment as well. And it's amazing when you kind of enter these worlds that you don't really know anything about, right? And then you just start to see how it all works and see how the system kind of plays out. And I experienced this a lot with, like when my dad died, like, all the things you have to deal with when someone passes away in your family. All the things to deal with Mum when she went into hospital recently, and then the care home, and she's back home now. She's doing really well, which is great. But you kind of learn about all these systems and things that go in place. So because I've had a couple of injections and things, I've been through a sort of process with, dealing with my insurance and the procedures. And so I had a phone pre-assessment. I had to do an online questionnaire, and then I had to speak to them on the phone and just clarify a few things, and they just ask you questions and things like that. And they said, cool, on the Friday before your surgery, you're going to come in, you're going to have some tests. They're going to just do blood tests, height, weight, probably an ECG, things like that. And they're like, eat and drink as normal, just come in, blah, blah, blah. Try and drink a lot of water when it's easier to take the blood test. And then I've got my surgery the following Friday. Don't eat 6 hours before, don't drink 2 hours before. This is what time you need to be in, all these sorts of things, right? And my surgeon was like, you'll probably stay in 2 nights and you can go home. On the phone, they were like, you can probably stay in 4 nights. I'm like, okay, fine. Anyway, so we went into the hospital on Friday, here for my pre-op tests, and a nurse came out and she was like, cool, come with me. So we went into a room. She put me on the scales and measured my height. And then we went into one of the offices, right? And she... when you think someone's joking because they do a job a lot and maybe they're just helping relax people, like a mechanic. I don't want you to joke. I want you to tell me what's wrong with the car and fix it. I don't need a joke. Don't panic me, So this nurse, she was lovely, but so we sat down and she was like, right, going to take a blood test, blah, blah, blah. And then she went, with a grin on her face, she said, did my colleague tell you about the rectal test?
Right.
And I thought, hand on heart, thought that was a joke.
Yeah, that was
a joke. Like,
yeah,
ha ha ha. No, just
yeah,
do what you need, you know. And so I just thought, well, this is a joke, so I will joke back.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, they just said it would cost extra. You know,
yeah,
little gag,
yeah, it's fine.
lighten the mood.
Yeah.
And then she pulled out 2 tubes with swabs.
Right.
And went, so this one's for your rectum and this one's for your groin.
Wow.
I thought, she's taken this far. She's running with it. She's running with this joke.
She's got props.
She's got props. She's bought props to this comedy show. And then she went, I've labelled them so you know which one's which. And I'm like,
God.
She's really going for this joke.
Yeah.
And then she went, there's a toilet out there. If you go down the corridor on the right, it's quite small. You're a big lad. Maybe you want to go to the bigger toilet in the main reception. And I'm thinking, I don't think this is a joke anymore.
No.
I was not planning for this on my Friday.
No.
And I was kind of like, you know, when you're a bit of a like, okay, right. And I was like, sorry, what? Can you just... And she went, she got the cotton, it's like a giant cotton bud swab thing. And she went, just hold it there and just give it a quick in and out.
Wow.
Okay. I'm doing this then, am I? So I walk out the room and I see my wife sat there in reception and she's like, you're right. And I just have this like look on my face. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so basically, I mean, if there was a place to share it, it's this podcast.
Yeah.
I just had to go in the toilet and shove a cotton bud up my arse.
There you go. A quick in and out. A quick in and out. It's fine. Bloody hell.
And you're just like, you know, I'm sure you were in Holland going, what am I doing here? You know, what's happened? Why am I in this position?
Yeah.
And then I'm there.
I don't know if that's akin to what you're saying.
Yeah, well, you know. And then just suddenly, right, okay, just got to shove this cotton bud up my arse and get on with it. So...
And then you bring it back and it's all disgusting, obviously. And she's like, oh, he actually did it.
I know. That was a fear. That was a genuine fear I had.
They never normally actually do it.
That, like, I'd come out and all the nurses would be there. Johnny Knoxville's there. Do you know what I mean? The guy from Dirty Sanchez. They're all just like, wait. Because, you know. You got, what's that? What was that MTV show? It wasn't Pranked. With Ashton Kutcher. Punked? Punked. Yeah, you got Punked. You got the guy from Punked, Dirty Sanchez there, Jackass. Dom Jolly's there, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
His phone rings, giant phone comes out. He's just shoved it up his ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, that was fun.
Great.
Anyway, then I had my consultation and... sign my consent form, and my wife can be quite frank with her words, and perhaps sometimes not include context in what she's saying. So obviously after the pre-op assessment, we had to wait a bit, and I said to my wife, I was like, she's like, you right? And I was like, yeah, I just had to shove a cotton bud up my arse. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah. And we were, anyway, so we went to see my surgeon, and we like to ask him questions maybe we don't think he normally gets asked, you know. And quite quickly into the consultation, she was like, why did Ben have to shove something up his bumhole? And that, I think he means questions about the surgery.
Yeah, I can imagine her using that as well, the term bumhole.
Yes. There was no tact, no medical.
No.
You know, maybe I would have phrased it, I just had to do a rectal swab. Could you tell me what that was for?
Yeah.
Why did Ben just have to shove something up his bumhole?
Yeah.
Context, well, he didn't know I was having my tests that afternoon.
Yeah.
So, and his face, sorry, what? And we told him, and he was like, oh, it's just a test. You haven't got MRSA. You're like, oh, okay, cool.
Right.
And then she asked him, have you won any awards? And he said, no, I'm not. No, there's not really any awards. He said, but I have been on telly.
Right.
Okay. And he was on a show that was on BBC called it was called Surgeons Life on the Edge. And I'm really hoping that it's not a program about stressed out surgeons.
Yeah.
Who are like shit at their job and might want to kill themselves.
Yeah.
You know, we got this wrong. You know.
Yeah.
the patients are on the edge, shall we say?
Like that IT crowd, builders from hell, and then that's their builder that Jen has.
So he's on this, BBC show, and it's these amazing surgeons. This was at the University Hospital in Southampton. Season 6 was all done at Southampton Hospital. It's not where I'm having mine done. I'm very close, and he performs spinal surgery on someone. So it's episode 5, season 6, Surgeons Live on the Edge. So go watch it, and we watched that whole season to see him, and fucking hell, it's fascinating, amazing. But what was really interesting is that the guy he was doing surgery on with another surgeon, spine was way more fucked up than mine. But he had similar issues. And so they did 2 surgeries on him. And the first surgery is what I'm essentially having done. And this program doesn't hold back with the visuals. So I got to see my surgeon performing part of what I'm having done.
Wow.
Fully filmed in the theatre, cameras on their heads so you can see what they're seeing. Because part of what I'm having done is I'm having a cage put in.
Right.
And I've had it explained to me what this is. But when you actually see the cage and how they do it and put it in and why, honestly, it's like, because I won't be awake for the surgery.
No.
So I've seen my surgeon multiple times over the last year. And I see him in his office and chat and stuff like that. And I see him in the morning, and the next time I see him, he's done it. He's done the work without me even being aware. It's done. But anyway, the cage. So they'll cut open my belly, right, between my belly button and my pelvic, my pubis. And he basically opens my stomach out with these clamps, right? And he moves all my organs out of the way. And then what he'll do is he will take out the broken disc, right? And they just get it out with pliers and shit. And then he puts this device in that then extends the gap between the 2 vertebrae of the spine. And then he has this metal, it's called a cage. It's not really a cage, but it kind of is like this kind of flat, square kind of wedge sort of thing made of metal. And then he puts that in, and I don't know whether I should have watched this before the surgery. They get it in place, and then he fucking hammers it in with a chisel.
Wow.
Junk, actually hammering and wedging this thing in place. But I think the cage, what is the top and bottom, are coated with a synthetic bone.
Right.
And so what that does is then the bone of the vertebrae will join the bone of the top of the cage. And so basically then it fixes those 2 vertebrae together.
Right.
But gives the space between the vertebrae that should naturally be there, which helps relieve pressure on all the nervous system around and stuff. So I'm having that done, and then I'm also having the disc above. I'm just having replaced, so they're putting a new disc in, which won't join the vertebrae together. They'll still be sort of independent, but man, fucking hell, it's fascinating.
Yeah, that is fascinating.
And I'm kind of, in a way, glad I got to see not just the surgery, but my actual surgeon doing it. And one downside is his little hat he wears is a bloody Southampton FC one, isn't it? He's a scummer. So, but I tell you what, as well, I've got to starting today. I have to do all this prep ready. So I've got to wear a full set of clean clothes every day. Some people might think
clean clothes.
Yeah, so what I'm wearing today, I can't wear again for the rest of the week until it's washed. So
why?
Underwear, trousers, because they don't want me to be ill or have any sort of virus or anything before the surgery. And I have to wash myself every day now with this special, it's called a Hibby wash, Hibby scrub.
Right.
It's a special formulated body wash. And I have to get in the shower, wet myself, then I have to apply this Hibby wash all over my body out of the water, and then I have to stand there for 60 seconds and then wash it off.
Wow.
I have to do that. I have to, change full set of clothes every day. And I also have this nasal gel that I have to put on a cotton bud, and I have to swab the inside of my nostril with this gel, and then hold my nose, and I have to do that in the morning and the evening. Like, it's crazy when you kind of get down to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's involved. But good news is, when I had my tests on Friday, like, the nurse did an ECG. So they put all these, tabs on my pulse points around the bottom and measured my heart and stuff. And good news, really, she was like, it's perfect. Heart is absolutely fine. Which is good, because mum's got atrial fibrillation and my dad died of a heart attack. So it's nice to know.
No, that is good, yeah.
My heart's sort of all right. But yeah, I got so I'm really now mentally just kind of focused on Friday, and like it weirds me out being like the anesthetic, the sedation. Weirds me out, man. Like it weirded me out when I had my injection, but like I will just how you just fall asleep so quickly that you don't even know.
Yeah.
And then you wake up, and I've seen what my surgeon will do to me, and I'm like, see what I mean? It's just kind of, it's very hard to sort of comprehend, put those two together. Yeah. But having seen what he did to this other guy and seen what actually is involved and how it works and the improvements it made to that guy's life, it's like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Did they show him like 3 months later, and it's like, this is how he is now? Yeah.
So I mean, they not only did they did two or three cages in his spine, and then he also had a curvature of the spine. So they had to drill 20 screws into his vertebrae, then shear off a lot of the other bits of the vertebrae that sort of stick out, and then install metal rods along the spine, and then sort of straighten it out. But so when you saw him like a couple of months later, he still had crutches, but he was like way better.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like, I think with all this extra stuff, like the washing and the cleaning and all these kind of things and the tests, and you're kind of like, oh shit, this is quite big. Like, yeah. And it's all the right things to do, and it's all worth it. And I'm not doubting having the surgery. No. I think it's kind of like, oh yeah, this is not a simple thing, Yeah. There's a lot of shit, and then dealing with the recovery and everything like that. But yeah. Anyway.
Brilliant. Would there be a way that you could regret it? Not to scare you, but what are the... did they ever talk about downsides? I don't know if you ever talked about...
Yeah, risks, yeah. The risk of paralysis is pretty much zero, because they're going in through the front, so they don't really affect any of that. But he said, one of the risks with all surgery is bleeding, internal bleeding.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, the biggest risk is death.
Yeah.
But it's a small shot. I mean, I was pleased about the ECG, just obviously because of my dad, but I think having just been through 3 months of post-operative delirium with my mum, I'm hoping that doesn't happen to me. As well. But he also said as well, like, a lot of the time with surgery, we can do all the MRIs and all the X-rays we want, but until we actually get in there, we don't know, So I'm trying not to think about those kind of...
I meant more also as like afterwards, like if there's like, if they say, I mean obviously paralysis is afterwards, but like if there's like a thing where I don't know how to explain it, where it's like sometimes people have a surgery or some sort of operation, or like even like Botox, you know what I mean, or some sort of like plastic surgery, and then they're like, oh, I regret this, I look mental now. Like, is there like a I don't know, is there a thing like that where it's like, oh, you could actually, I don't know.
I don't think so. I think this is like, should solve the problem.
Yeah.
This is the fix. This isn't like hopefully it works. This is these are, and that was the whole point of that discogram where they jabbed them and tested them. And he actually showed me the pictures from the X-rays of the you can see one disc that like retains all the dye, which is
Yeah.
a disc that works, and you can see the other one they just put it in and it just leaks out everywhere.
Yeah.
So like they're pretty sure they know exactly these are the 2 discs that need targeting that will stop the pain.
Yeah.
I guess there's a possibility that the other 2 broken discs, while they still are damaged, they don't cause me pain. That maybe one day they will, and that there might need to be another surgery to replace them. But I think confidence-wise, in terms of this is the solution to the problem.
Yeah.
Is fine, and I don't think there's any drawbacks from having this done. Really,
Yeah.
it seems like he kind of said like, yeah, this is pretty standard.
Yeah.
To your issue is standard, and this solution is standard. So, but yeah, he said like the operation will be about 3 hours, something like that if all goes well. So, yeah, it's
Oh, great.
crazy,
Amazing.
But what it's sort of done, and you asked me about 3 Day Benda the other week, and what I realised like the other day was that this year is 20 years since our debut album came out.
Right.
And I played it to my wife in the car on the way to the hospital. And and then I was like, oh, it's 20 years since this album came out. And I was just trying to think of any, like, you know, because I still see a lot of the guys regularly. Like, we're going on a stag do in March, and we're going to one of the guys' weddings in Newcastle in May. Like, still really good core group of friends. And I got out my, like, scrapbook and my kind of box file of, like, all the stuff I kept from those days, which I'm really glad I did. I've got, like, gig posters, backstage passes, all this sort of thing, like reviews, things like that. And my wife was like, are you getting really reflective on your life because you're going to have this surgery on Friday? And I'm like, yeah, maybe subconsciously I'm like, I could die. So maybe I'll just enjoy what I've done. But I looked at, we played the Wedge Drums supporting Cap Down, and that was such a big gig for us at the time. And Paul's dad filmed it, and I've got that on DVD. And I watched it yesterday, and I was like thinking about drum stuff, like what you said about giving it more energy and things like that. I've got a couple of clips where I am absolutely giving it some, and my mullet is swinging around in the background. But one thing I really noticed that I completely forgot is how I had my cymbals set up.
Right.
So I had one rack tom still, but I didn't have the ride where the second rack tom is. I still had the ride over the floor tom.
Yeah.
Right on the right-hand side. And I had the 2 crashes up top. So I had a crash over this, you know, where my ride is now, but still like quite high up. And I was like, I don't even really remember that. And I don't even really remember like switching that round and moving. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fucking hell, yeah. Why did I still have the ride on that? I guess I just learnt on a 5-piece kit.
Yeah.
Took the second rack tom out and didn't change. But
who knows? Maybe it's the Dave Grohl way or something.
Yeah, mate. Who knows? But then other things I found was
what was I talking about? Energy. What did I say?
Oh, like how. Well, we were talking about not using charts and like.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Give it like more energy.
Yeah.
But one thing watching now, I was like, oh, I was pretty good at drums back then. Like, sounds pretty good. But I also found one of our, I can't remember if it was our album or something, was reviewed in Rhythm magazine. Do you remember Rhythm magazine?
Yeah.
I found that, and then I found just some like loads of posters, backstage passes. Like we were in Metal Hammer and Big Cheese, and we had a song on a compilation CD, and then the one thing that we still don't know happened was that 2003 we were Kerrang Readers Poll. We were number 7 in the top 10 unsigned bands.
Lovely.
I was like, how the fuck did that happen? Yeah. But do you know what? It was lovely looking back through all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
been meaning to throw that away.
You look young there. Yeah. Sort of photogenic, isn't it?
No, absolutely is. Wait, when did the album come out then? This
2006.
What month?
I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you, mate. March, spring.
a few days ago, it was the 20th anniversary of the first Arctic Monkeys album.
Oh,
I
was
thought,
it?
imagine if it was the same time. The best album ever. Well, that's great. I'm going to end with a little shout out to one of our listeners.
Okay.
So Chris Hampson, name drop again. He likes it when I name drop him. It's almost become an inside joke. But I won't tell people where he lives and stuff. But he goes to a jam night with Jimmy Green, a guitarist in the Laney thing. And I will go at some point. Someone went up to Chris and said, and if they're listening, I'm sure they know who I'm talking about just from this so far. They said, I think I want to get this right. It was like, I think I know you, but I know you through a podcast I listened to because you've been mentioned on it. And then they realised it was Drum and Drummer, and the guy is called Stuart Smith. And I just thought that was quite cool. Chris told me about that in the van on the way to Holland. So thank you for the continued support, Stuart. It is much appreciated. And yeah, I think those sorts of things are the most exciting things to happen.
That is nice, isn't it?
From these podcasts. Yeah, where it's sort of like
I've never been recognised for being on this show.
No. And now we've got people.
Someone who's not even on it is being recognised.
Yeah, because I talk about Chris all the time.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. It's great.
No, yeah, it's great.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. It is nice because you do wonder who's listening, and then you sort of, I think it is the people that are just, just working musicians. That's genuinely my biggest excitement from this podcast, is that people listen on the way back from gigs or whatever. I just think that's very cool. It's almost like a cult-like podcast, It's a little niche. So thank you, Stuart. And I'm sure I'll see you at some point if I go to the jam night, which I absolutely will. Anything else to wrap up?
I don't think so, really. Cotton bud up the arse. I don't think there's anything else.
No. Just a quick in and out.
Oh, it's surreal, isn't it? It's all surreal.
It is.
You just think, what's going on here? Why am I? What's happened to? Just been to the Lego store and had a Nando's, and I'm shoving a cotton bud up my arse.
Yeah.
What a day!
Yeah.
What a day!
Brilliant.
Anyway, yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com, Instagram drumanddrummerpodcast. Hopefully, I'll see you all on the other side.
And
it'd be weird if this came out and I was dead.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Toodaloo.
Thank you for listening to Drum and Drummer. You can find us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. And you can send us an email to drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Remember, just pick up the sticks and twat it.